All right, let's do card number 4. I'm going to start by telling you that there's a mistake on your directions. The first direction says to trim the 6x6 DSP to 5x4. The correction is that should say 5x3 1/4. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to take our DSP. We're going to cut it 5, which is easier to see at the top of my cutting board. And you will have a scrap left over, by 3 3/4, which for me is easier to see at the bottom. Now comes the tricky part. You are going to trim this into triangles by cutting from corner to corner both ways. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the long corners on a diagonal so that the corner touches or is lined right up with the cut line on my trimmer. Get that squared up pretty close and trim it. Now keep them together and cut the other way. So you see how they were trimmed? I'm going to hold them together and I'm going to line up the other corners. And I'm going to do the same thing, which will give me 4 triangles. Ta-da! All right. So now, keeping those together, I guess. Now you can decide. The directions say to take the left and the right and flip them. You can also take the top and the bottom and flip them. That is completely up to you. We're now going to adhere them, and let's just be sure that they work by putting our puzzle back together on our base piece. And you're going to want to leave a little bit of space between each triangle. I'm going to again use my liquid glue because it gives me a little bit of freedom to move them around once I've placed them. So I'm going to line that up with the top and make sure it's straight. I think I'm going to do the edge next. The center isn't critical because we're going to cover it with those beautiful ovals. So pay closer attention to your edges and the space between your triangles. It won't be perfect, but you know what? If it was, nobody would know that you made it. So there we go. That's pretty darn good, huh? All right. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to put that white piece of ribbon on. And I use the cheater method, which is Scotch tape. So I'm going to go right across the center and I'm going to tape this on the back. Let's check it, make sure that it's in a good location, and tape it on the back. That'll really hold your ribbon in place. The next part of the directions say adhere to the card base, and I did this one flat. So my liquid glue, here's my card base. Center that. I love this color combination. It reminds me of Tiffany's, which I have always wanted a Tiffany bracelet. Adhere Coastal Cabana oval tag to the front over the ribbon, and I did not pop it up. You can if you want. Up to you. right in the middle. See how that covers up anything that might not have matched perfectly. I'm going to stamp a greeting on the basic white tag, and I'm going to attach it in the center there. I'm going to attach the bow with either liquid glue or a mini glue dot. Kind of off to the side. And I'm going to put my basic white cardstock on the inside. This card is a great way to use double-sided paper. When you like both sides and you just can't decide, it's a perfect way to show off both sides. Awesome. Get ready for project number 5.